Ladies and gentlemen, divine timing is often misunderstood as delay, but in truth it is preparation. What appears slow to the human mind is not inactivity, it is alignment happening beyond visible awareness. Life does not respond to urgency or anxiety. It responds to readiness. Readiness is not something you force. It is something that forms naturally when inner conditions match the outer result you are asking for. When something does not arrive immediately, the mind labels it as failure or rejection. This interpretation creates tension. Tension blocks perception. Once perception is blocked, you miss the subtle adjustments life is making on your behalf. Divine timing is not working against you. It is working around you, through people, circumstances, and unseen chains of events. Many desires fail not because they are wrong, but because they are requested, before the inner foundation is strong enough to hold them. What arrives before maturity often collapses under pressure. Divine timing ensures sustainability, not just arrival. It protects you from receiving what would overwhelm, distract, or derail you. Preparation does not always look productive. Sometimes it looks like waiting. Sometimes it looks like confusion. Sometimes it looks like losing interest in old patterns. These are not setbacks. They are signs that identity is shifting. Identity must shift before reality can follow. The mind wants proof. Divine timing works without it. Faith is not believing something will happen. It is remaining calm when nothing appears to be happening. Calmness keeps the channel open. Agitation narrows it. Every desire carries a frequency. That frequency must match the version of you who can live with it peacefully. If you imagine receiving what you want and feel anxiety instead of ease, timing is still adjusting. Ease is the signal that alignment is near. Life rearranges quietly. Conversations happen you will never hear about. Opportunities move through other people's decisions. Delays redirect you from paths that would have cost more than they gave. Divine timing edits reality behind the scenes. Trying to force outcomes disrupts this process. Forcing introduces resistance. Resistance communicates mistrust. Mistrust slows cooperation. Letting go is not quitting. It is stepping out of the way. The universe does not operate on urgency. It operates on order. Order cannot be rushed. When order is complete, movement is instant. What took months to prepare can manifest in moments once alignment locks in. Many people look back and realize the delay was essential. They see how receiving something earlier would have caused damage, confusion, or loss. Divine timing protects both the desire and the person. Impatience is often rooted in fear. Fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear that it may never happen. These fears compress time mentally but stretch it emotionally. Time feels longer when you resist it. Acceptance collapses time. When you accept the present moment fully, you stop fighting it. When the fight ends, energy becomes available. Available energy accelerates outcomes. Divine timing also builds character. It strengthens patience, trust, and emotional stability. These qualities are not side effects, they are prerequisites. Without them, success becomes unstable. Silence from life is not absence, it is incubation. Seeds grow in darkness. Pressure does not help them grow faster. It damages them. Every fulfilled desire arrives with a sense of inevitability. When the moment comes, it feels obvious. Looking back, you realize it could not have happened any other way. When you stop checking the clock, you start aligning with the moment. Alignment dissolves delay. Nothing meant for you can be taken from you. If it has not arrived, it has not been taken, it is being prepared. Divine timing is not passive. It is precise. It coordinates inner readiness with outer opportunity. When both meet, movement is effortless. The moment you relax in trust, the system reorganizes. Trust is not blind belief. It is emotional neutrality toward timing. Neutrality keeps you receptive. What is coming will arrive, whole, stable, and sustainable, because it came at the right time, not the rush time. Divine timing never delays. It prepares. Divine timing ensures that what comes into your life arrives with stability, not chaos. When something appears before you are internally prepared, it often brings stress instead of joy. What seems like a blessing can quickly turn into pressure. Divine timing prevents this by allowing growth to occur before arrival. Many people focus only on receiving, not on maintaining. They ask for wealth, love, or success without considering the inner capacity required to sustain it. Capacity is emotional, mental, and spiritual. Without capacity, even good things become heavy. Life waits until your nervous system can hold the experience without panic. Sudden success can trigger fear, self-sabotage, or guilt if identity has not expanded first. Divine timing expands identity slowly so that when opportunity comes, it feels natural instead of overwhelming. This is why some people receive something quickly and lose it just as fast. It arrived before alignment was complete. Divine timing avoids that cycle. It protects continuity. The mind often believes faster is better. Spirit knows that ready is better. Ready means your beliefs, habits, and self-concept can support what you are asking for. If you imagine having what you want and feel tension, worry, or fear, that is not a failure. It is information. It means timing is still adjusting internal structures. Delays are often periods of internal upgrading. Old beliefs dissolve, emotional patterns shift, values realign. These changes are subtle but essential. Divine timing also aligns external conditions. People must be in the right place mentally and emotionally to play their role. Situations must mature. Circumstances must converge. None of this can be rushed without creating friction. When something is truly ready, it enters smoothly. There is little resistance. Obstacles fall away. Effort decreases. This ease is the hallmark of divine timing. Many people regret things they once begged for. At the time, they did not see the cost. Later, they recognized the protection in the delay. Divine timing saved them from lessons they were not prepared to face. Receiving too early can also freeze growth. When rewards arrive without readiness, motivation weakens. Divine timing ensures growth continues alongside reward. Waiting periods are not empty. They are formative. How you think, speak, and feel during waiting shapes the quality of what arrives. Peace during waiting strengthens trust. Trust keeps alignment open. Alignment attracts outcomes. Divine timing never asks you to stop living. It asks you to live fully while allowing life to assemble what is next. You are not being tested, you are being prepared. What comes at the right time stays. Divine timing does not withhold. It protects. Impatience blocks alignment because it introduces tension into a process that depends on harmony. When the mind becomes impatient, it shifts from trust to control. Control signals fear. Fear disrupts the natural coordination between inner state and outer response. Alignment requires calm expectancy, not pressure. Impatience often comes from the belief that time is against you. This belief creates urgency, and urgency narrows perception. When perception narrows, you stop seeing options, timing cues, and intuitive nudges. You begin forcing decisions instead of responding to guidance. Alignment is not about speed, it is about coherence. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, expectations, and actions are moving in the same direction. Impatience fractures that coherence. One part of you wants the result immediately, while another part doubts whether it will happen at all. That split weakens the signal. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that faith must be calm to be effective. Calm faith leaves space for life to arrange details. Impatience fills that space with noise. Noise interferes with reception. When you are impatient, you constantly check for results. This checking reinforces the assumption that nothing is happening. The subconscious absorbs that assumption and reflects it outward. The more you check, the more delay you perceive. Impatience also shortens emotional tolerance. Small setbacks feel larger. Minor delays feel personal. This emotional reactivity destabilizes the inner environment. Money, opportunity, and solutions avoid unstable environments. Alignment requires emotional steadiness. Steadiness allows intuition to surface. Intuition guides timing. Impatience drowns intuition out with urgency and worry. Another way impatience blocks alignment is through rushed action. Actions taken from impatience are often misaligned. They may look productive but lack clarity. These actions create complications that must later be undone, extending the timeline rather than shortening it. Impatience often disguises itself as motivation. The difference is subtle but important. Motivation feels energized and focused. Impatience feels strained and restless. One expands options, the other constricts them. When impatience dominates, comparison increases. You begin measuring your progress against others. Comparison creates scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking collapses trust. Without trust, alignment breaks down. Impatience also erodes self-trust. When you believe you should already be somewhere else, you imply that your current process is wrong. This self-doubt weakens confidence. Weak confidence leads to inconsistent behavior. Inconsistency confuses outcome. Florence taught that divine order operates without strain. Strain is a sign of resistance. Resistance blocks flow. Flow requires allowance. Allowance does not mean passivity. It means cooperating with timing rather than fighting it. Cooperation keeps energy available. Fighting consumes it. Impatience consumes emotional energy quickly. This leads to exhaustion, discouragement, and eventually disengagement. Many people quit not because the outcome was impossible, but because impatience made the journey feel unbearable. Alignment often completes just after impatience peaks. This is why so many people miss results by leaving too early. The system was almost ready, but impatience interrupted the final stages. Time feels longer when you resist it. Resistance stretches perception. Acceptance compresses it. This is why calm periods often feel like they pass quickly, while anxious waiting feels endless. Impatience also blocks gratitude. Gratitude anchors you in sufficiency. Sufficiency attracts increase. Impatience focuses on absence. Absence repels completion. When gratitude fades, attention locks onto what is missing. What you focus on grows emotionally. Emotional growth of lack creates experiential lack. Florence emphasized expectancy without demand. Demand implies entitlement mixed with fear. Expectancy implies trust. Trust allows life to work freely. Impatience creates emotional deadlines. Life does not respond well to ultimatums. Ultimatums signal mistrust. Mistrust slows cooperation. Alignment requires surrender of timing, not desire. Desire sets direction. Surrender sets rhythm. Rhythm guides manifestation. Impatience disrupts rhythm. It causes stops and starts. Stops and starts weaken momentum. Smooth rhythm builds it. When you release impatience, creativity increases. New ideas appear. New routes reveal themselves. These alternatives were always present but hidden by tension. Impatience narrows imagination. Calm expands it. Expanded imagination invites solutions beyond your current understanding. Florence believed that what is meant for you arrives without struggle. Struggle indicates interference. Impatience is a form of interference. Letting go of impatience does not slow results. It removes obstacles. Obstacles often exist internally, not externally. When impatience dissolves, the body relaxes. Relaxation improves clarity. Clarity improves timing. You begin to act when action is required and rest when rest is required. This balance keeps alignment intact. Impatience also distorts memory. You forget how far you've come and focus only on what remains. This creates dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction lowers vibration. Alignment thrives on satisfaction with progress. Progress acknowledged multiplies. Florence taught that calm expectation is magnetic. Magnetism attracts without effort. Effort driven by impatience repels. When impatience fades, confidence rises. Confidence steadies emotion. Steady emotion supports alignment. Alignment restores trust. Trust restores flow. Flow restores timing. Timing restores fulfillment. Impatience blocks alignment, not because time is wrong, but because the inner state is misaligned with the outcome being prepared. Nothing meant for you can miss you, because life does not operate on chance or competition. It operates on alignment. What belongs to you is not chasing you, and it is not being taken by someone else. It is moving toward you through paths you cannot track with logic alone. The belief that opportunities can be stolen creates anxiety. Anxiety weakens trust. Trust is essential for alignment. Many people live with the quiet fear that if they don't act fast enough, speak loudly enough, or push harder, they will miss their chance. This fear comes from the illusion that life is scarce and time is hostile. In reality, what is aligned with you is synchronized to your inner state, not external timing. When something passes you by, it was never yours in the first place. This does not mean it was bad or wrong. It means it belonged to a different alignment. Trying to force yourself into experiences that are not aligned often leads to exhaustion, confusion, or loss. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that divine order cannot be disrupted. Divine order is not fragile. It does not require guarding or chasing. When you trust this, urgency dissolves. When urgency dissolves, clarity returns. The idea that you must compete for what is meant for you comes from comparison. Comparison creates false timelines. It assumes everyone is on the same path, moving at the same speed toward the same outcomes. This assumption is false. Each person's alignment unfolds uniquely. When you believe something meant for you could miss you, you unconsciously signal distrust in life's intelligence. That distrust creates tension. Tension interferes with perception. Interference delays recognition when the right opportunity appears. Alignment works like recognition, not pursuit. When something meant for you arrives, it feels familiar. Familiarity creates ease. Ease allows acceptance. Acceptance allows permanence. People often regret missed opportunities, but upon reflection they realize those paths would have led to compromise or struggle. What feels like loss at one level reveals itself as protection later. Nothing meant for you arrives with chaos. Chaos is a sign of misalignment. What is meant for you fits naturally into your life without requiring you to abandon yourself. Believing you can miss what is yours makes you rush decisions. Rush decisions are often misaligned. Misalignment creates setbacks. Setbacks reinforce fear. Fear accelerates rushing. The cycle continues. When you trust that nothing meant for you can pass you by, you allow yourself to move deliberately. Deliberate movement preserves energy. Preserved energy sharpens intuition. Intuition is how alignment communicates. It does not shout, it nudges. If you are anxious about missing something, you cannot hear it. Life does not test you with scarcity. It responds to readiness. Readiness includes emotional stability and self-trust. When these are present, timing becomes precise. What belongs to you will arrive when you can recognize it without fear and receive it without tension. Receiving before that point often leads to loss, because fear sabotages sustainability. Florence emphasized that divine supply is endless. Endlessness removes competition. When competition disappears, comparison dissolves. When comparison dissolves, peace emerges. Peace improves perception. Improved perception reveals opportunity. Opportunity met with calm becomes success. The belief that you must seize everything immediately implies that opportunity is rare. Rare opportunity creates hoarding behavior. Hoarding creates fear of loss. Fear of loss blocks flow. Trusting that nothing meant for you can miss you creates spaciousness. Spaciousness allows discernment. Discernment protects direction. Direction matters more than speed. Speed without direction creates exhaustion. Direction without rush creates momentum. Life reorganizes constantly. Paths intersect and separate based on alignment shifts. If something exits your life, it made space for something more fitting. Holding on out of fear prevents new alignment from entering. Letting go signals trust. Trust attracts cooperation. Nothing meant for you requires betrayal of values. If a situation asks you to compromise integrity, it is not aligned. Alignment always honors your growth. People often think they miss love, money, or opportunity. What they missed was timing, not destiny. Destiny adjusts timing, not identity. When you accept that nothing meant for you can miss you, patience becomes easier. Patience stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion maintains alignment. Alignment does not mean inactivity. It means inspired action at the right moment. Right moments feel obvious, not forced. You are not behind. Behind implies a universal clock. There is no universal clock. There is only personal alignment. Florence taught that divine timing and divine assignment work together. Assignment cannot arrive before the assignee is ready. Fear of missing out pulls attention outward. Trust pulls attention inward. Inner attention restores authority. Authority creates calm. Calm creates receptivity. Receptivity allows arrival. What is meant for you carries your name energetically. It recognizes you when you recognize yourself. Trying to claim what is not aligned drains energy. Waiting for what is aligned restores it. Life does not forget you. It responds to you. When trust replaces fear, you stop chasing and start attracting. Attraction operates without loss. Nothing meant for you can be missed, delayed by others, or taken away. It arrives when you are prepared to keep it. Resistance creates waiting because it holds attention on what is missing instead of what is forming. When you resist the present moment, you argue with reality. That argument consumes energy. Energy spent resisting is energy unavailable for alignment. Alignment is what allows movement. Without alignment, time feels heavy, slow, and obstructed. Resistance often hides beneath frustration, impatience, or overthinking. It sounds like this shouldn't be taking so long or something must be wrong. These thoughts are not neutral. They instruct the subconscious to expect delay. Expectation shapes perception. Perception shapes experience. When you resist what is, you mentally place yourself in opposition to life. Opposition creates friction. Friction slows momentum. The more you push against the present, the more time stretches emotionally. Waiting becomes painful because attention is locked on absence. Acceptance collapses time because it removes friction. Acceptance does not mean liking the situation or giving up on change. It means acknowledging reality without emotional charge. When emotional charge drops, resistance dissolves. When resistance dissolves, energy flows freely. Energy in motion shortens perceived time. This is why moments of flow pass quickly, while moments of frustration feel endless. Time responds to emotional state more than external conditions. Resistance often comes from fear. Fear that it won't happen. Fear that you are falling behind. Fear that life is unfair. These fears anchor attention in lack. Lack-focused attention creates stagnation. Acceptance shifts attention to stability. Stability tells the nervous system it is safe. Safety opens receptivity. Receptivity allows cooperation with unseen processes. Life is always moving, but resistance blocks awareness of that movement. When you accept Awareness expands. You begin to notice subtle progress, intuitive nudges, and quiet shifts that were invisible before. Acceptance aligns you with the current moment. Alignment with the present is essential because creation happens now, not in imagined futures. When your attention leaves now, you leave the point of power. Resistance says, this moment is wrong. Acceptance says, this moment is workable. Workable moments move. Wrong moments stall. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that non-resistance allows divine order to act. Divine order is precise and efficient. Human resistance introduces detours and delays that feel external but originate internally. When you accept where you are, you stop leaking energy into complaint. That energy returns as clarity. Clarity improves decision-making. Better decisions accelerate outcomes. Acceptance also prevents emotional exhaustion. Resistance is tiring. Tired minds make reactive choices. Reactive choices create complications. Complications extend timelines. Acceptance conserves energy. Conserved energy sharpens intuition. Intuition guides you to the right action at the right time, reducing wasted effort. Resistance often manifests as forcing. Forcing is an attempt to override timing. Forcing creates misalignment. Misalignment requires correction later. Corrections take time. Acceptance allows timing to reveal itself. Revealed timing feels natural. Natural timing requires less effort and produces stable results. Resistance also creates tunnel vision. You fixate on one outcome or one path. Fixation limits options. Limited options slow progress. Acceptance opens perspective. Open perspective reveals alternatives. Many breakthroughs arrive through unexpected routes. Resistance blocks recognition of these routes because they do not match expectations. Acceptance allows flexibility. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means responsive action instead of reactive action. Responsive action aligns with conditions. Reactive action fights them. Resistance creates emotional deadlines. Emotional deadlines pressure the system. Pressure reduces efficiency. Acceptance removes pressure. Efficiency increases. Time compresses where effort and direction align. Resistance separates them. Acceptance reunites them. Resistance often includes self-judgment. Thoughts like I should be further along imply failure. Failure thinking lowers confidence. Low confidence creates hesitation. Hesitation delays movement. Acceptance replaces self-judgment with self-trust. Self-trust stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion supports consistency. Consistency compounds progress. Acceptance also neutralizes comparison. Comparison breeds impatience. Impatience feeds resistance. Acceptance returns focus to your own process. Focus strengthens momentum. When you stop resisting, you stop asking why isn't it here yet? That question reinforces absence. Instead, attention shifts to what can I do calmly right now? Calm action advances reality. Acceptance communicates trust to the subconscious. Trust relaxes control mechanisms. Relaxed control allows creative solutions to surface. Resistance keeps the mind loud. Acceptance quiets it. Quiet minds hear guidance. Time collapses when guidance is followed promptly. Guidance is missed when the mind is busy arguing with now. Acceptance also dissolves fear of waiting. Waiting becomes neutral instead of painful. Neutral waiting feels shorter because emotion no longer stretches time. Resistance stretches time emotionally even if nothing changes externally. Acceptance shortens emotional time even before external change appears. Florence believed that what you resist persists. Persistence requires time. Acceptance removes persistence. What is no longer resisted loses grip and reorganizes. Acceptance allows present actions to be effective. Resistance contaminates action with frustration. Frustrated action produces mixed results. Mixed results require adjustment. Adjustment extends timelines. Acceptance produces cleaner outcomes. Acceptance also improves sleep, focus, and mood. These improve cognitive function. Improved cognition enhances productivity. Productivity accelerates progress. Resistance keeps you mentally in the future. Acceptance anchors you now. Now is where influence exists. Time is not an enemy. Emotional resistance turns it into one. Acceptance restores neutrality. When neutrality returns, life feels lighter. Lightness moves faster than heaviness. Acceptance does not delay results. It removes the internal brakes that create delay. When you stop pushing against the moment, momentum resumes naturally. Waiting dissolves when resistance ends because nothing is blocking movement anymore. Acceptance collapses time not by speeding the clock, but by removing the emotional weight that made time feel slow in the first place. The moment you stop forcing, life accelerates because forcing is resistance disguised as effort. It comes from the belief that without constant pressure, nothing will happen. This belief creates tension, and tension disrupts the natural intelligence that coordinates timing, opportunity, and outcome. Life does not move faster when pushed. It moves faster when it is allowed to organize itself. Forcing usually begins when trust weakens. When trust fades, the mind steps in to control. Control narrows perception. Narrow perception limits options. Limited options slow progress. What feels like action is often interference. When you force, you act from fear of delay rather than confidence in alignment. Fear-based action is reactive. Reactive movement lacks precision. It creates unnecessary steps, wrong turns, and complications that later need correction. Each correction adds time. Allowance is not inactivity. It is intelligent participation. It means acting when action is clear and resting when clarity is absent. This rhythm preserves energy and sharpens timing. Forcing ignores rhythm. Ignoring rhythm creates exhaustion. Life has its own momentum. That momentum becomes visible only when you stop blocking it. Forcing blocks momentum because it introduces contradiction. One part of you wants flow. Another part doubts it will happen. This split slows everything. When you stop forcing, the body relaxes. Relaxation improves perception. Improved perception reveals cues you missed while tense. These cues guide you to the right moment, person, or decision. Acting on cues accelerates results more than any amount of pressure. Forcing often shows up as overthinking. Overthinking replaces intuition with analysis. Analysis tries to predict outcomes instead of responding to conditions. Conditions change faster than predictions. Responding is faster than planning. When forcing stops, intuition re-enters. Intuition works in real time. It adapts instantly. This adaptability shortens timelines because you are no longer correcting outdated assumptions. Forcing also distorts motivation. What begins as desire turns into desperation. Desperation tightens focus onto one outcome or path. When that path stalls, frustration grows. Frustration drains energy. Drained energy slows movement. Allowance opens multiple pathways. Multiple pathways increase probability. Increased probability accelerates results. Life prefers flexibility over fixation. When you stop forcing, emotional tone shifts. Calm replaces urgency. Calm stabilizes the nervous system. A regulated nervous system processes information efficiently. Efficiency speeds response. Many breakthroughs happen after people give up pushing. This is not coincidence, it is alignment restored. When pressure releases, internal systems synchronize. Synchronization produces sudden movement. Forcing often comes with attachment to specific timing. You tell yourself it must happen by a certain date or in a certain way. These mental deadlines create pressure. Pressure restricts creativity. Restricted creativity limits solutions. When you release deadlines, creativity expands. Expanded creativity reveals routes you never considered. These routes are often faster than the original plan. Forcing also blocks collaboration. People sense pressure energetically. Pressure repels cooperation. Ease invites support. Support multiplies momentum. Life often accelerates through people. If pressure pushes people away, progress slows. When pressure drops, communication improves. Improved communication creates opportunity. Forcing creates a narrow definition of success. Narrow definitions are fragile. When conditions shift, the plan breaks. Allowance allows success to arrive in unexpected forms that fit current conditions. Stopping force does not mean lowering standards. It means raising trust. Trust removes the need to micromanage outcomes. Micromanagement consumes time. Time expands or contracts based on emotional resistance. Force increases resistance, allowance removes it. When resistance drops, time feels compressed. Events align more closely. Forcing also weakens self-trust. Each forced action that fails reinforces doubt. Doubt increases force. The cycle continues. Allowance breaks the cycle by restoring confidence. Confidence improves timing. Confident people act decisively when action is required and pause when it is not. This discernment prevents wasted effort. Life accelerates when actions are timely rather than frequent. Forcing favors frequency. Allowance favors timing. Timing is more powerful. Forcing can create premature outcomes. Premature outcomes collapse under pressure. Repairing collapse takes time. Allowance ensures outcomes arrive fully formed. When you stop forcing, patience appears naturally. Patience is not waiting, it is stability during movement. Stability prevents derailment. Forcing is often fueled by comparison. Seeing others move faster triggers pressure. Pressure leads to rushed decisions. Rushed decisions slow long-term progress. Allowance returns focus inward. Inner focus restores alignment. Alignment sharpens response. Life accelerates when you are no longer fighting it. Fighting consumes energy. Cooperation multiplies it. Forcing also interferes with learning. Pressure closes curiosity. Curiosity opens insight. Insight leads to shortcuts. Shortcuts save time. When force drops, learning improves. Improved learning increases competence. Competence accelerates results. Forcing creates tunnel vision. Tunnel vision misses signals. Signals guide timing. Missing signals creates delay. Allowance widens awareness. Wider awareness reveals signals early. Early recognition prevents wasted cycles. Forcing keeps attention on outcome. Allowance keeps attention on process. A clean process produces faster outcomes. When the process is respected, the result emerges naturally. Natural emergence is faster than forced construction. Forcing demands certainty before action. Allowance allows clarity to appear through action. Small aligned actions reveal the next step. This step-by-step unfolding moves faster than waiting for full certainty. Life accelerates when you trust sequence instead of control. Sequence unfolds in order. Control disrupts order. Forcing often masks fear of failure. Fear slows learning. Learning speeds success. Allowance reduces fear, increasing learning speed. When you stop forcing, joy returns. Joy energizes effort without strain. Energized effort sustains momentum. Sustainable momentum outpaces bursts of force. Forcing is loud. Allowance is quiet. Quiet allows signals to be heard. Life does not need to be pushed, it needs to be met. When you stop forcing, alignment replaces effort. Alignment removed. Friction. Friction is what makes progress feel slow. Remove friction, and life moves swiftly on its own. Faith is calm during silence because silence is not absence, it is incubation. When nothing seems to be happening externally, the mind often assumes nothing is happening at all. This assumption creates anxiety. Anxiety fills the quiet with doubt. Doubt disturbs alignment. True faith remains steady when the outer world is quiet because it understands that silence is part of the process, not a failure of it. Silence is uncomfortable for the mind because the mind craves feedback. It wants reassurance, signs, movement, proof. When those are missing, the mind invents stories. Most of those stories are negative. They suggest delay, rejection, or loss. Faith does not engage with these stories, it rests. Calm faith does not demand updates. It does not constantly ask, is it working? That question itself implies mistrust. Mistrust destabilizes expectation. Expectation shapes experience. Silence is often the period when the deepest adjustments are taking place. External movement pauses while internal structures reorganize. Identity shifts quietly. Beliefs soften. Emotional patterns reset. These changes cannot be seen, but they are essential. The loudest transformations often begin in the quietest moments. When there is no distraction, the subconscious has space to integrate new assumptions. Integration requires stillness. Stillness looks like nothing, but it is active at a deeper level. Faith during silence is not passive. It is emotionally regulated. It does not swing between hope and despair. It remains neutral and grounded. This neutrality allows the nervous system to stay relaxed. A relaxed nervous system supports receptivity. When the nervous system is calm, intuition becomes clear. Intuition is subtle. It cannot be heard over mental noise. Silence amplifies intuition by reducing interference. Many people break alignment during silence by trying to fill it with action. They panic and do anything to feel movement. These actions are often misaligned. Misaligned action creates setbacks that extend the silent period. Silence asks for patience, not performance. It asks for trust, not proof. When this is misunderstood, resistance appears. Resistance creates friction. Friction prolongs waiting. Faith understands that timing is not linear. Events do not unfold step by step in visible ways. They assemble invisibly, then appear suddenly. Silence is the assembly phase. Most manifestations arrive suddenly, not gradually. The suddenness makes them look like luck. In reality, they were prepared during long periods of quiet. Silence also tests emotional maturity. Can you remain stable without reassurance? Can you maintain peace without confirmation? These qualities are not tests imposed by life. They are capacities required to sustain what is coming. If silence triggers anxiety, it reveals where trust is incomplete. This is not a flaw. It is feedback. Faith grows by noticing this and gently restoring calm. Silence removes distractions that hide dependency. When nothing external supports you emotionally, you discover whether trust is internal or conditional. Conditional trust collapses in silence. Internal trust deepens. Calm during silence signals readiness. Readiness invites movement. Agitation signals instability. Instability delays response. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that faith must be serene to be effective. Serenity indicates confidence in unseen order. Confidence allows the subconscious to cooperate fully. Silence also prevents interference from others' opinions. When nothing is happening, fewer people are involved. Fewer voices mean less doubt. Less doubt strengthens alignment. Many people sabotage manifestations by talking too much during silence. They explain, justify, complain, or seek reassurance. Each conversation introduces doubt. Silence protects the process. Silence also dissolves ego involvement. When results are not visible, ego has nothing to perform. This allows deeper intention to operate without distortion. Faith during silence is a form of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up desire. It means releasing control over timing and method. Control blocks flow. Surrender opens it. When silence is accepted, it becomes peaceful instead of tense. Peace signals sufficiency. Sufficiency attracts increase. Silence teaches you to trust internal cues rather than external signs. External signs come after alignment, not before. Waiting for signs before trusting reverses the order. Faith trusts first, signs follow. Silence also allows old attachments to dissolve. When nothing happens, some desires lose emotional charge. This is beneficial. What remains is clearer and more aligned. Clarity shortens timelines. Confusion extends them. Silence is where emotional dependency fades. Dependency repels fulfillment. Independence attracts partnership with life. Calm faith does not mean suppressing emotion. It means allowing emotion to pass without identifying with it. Feelings arise. Faith remains. Silence strengthens self-trust. When you survive quiet without panic, confidence grows. Confidence stabilizes expectation. Stabilized expectation prepares the subconscious to accept outcome without shock. Shock often disrupts manifestation when it finally arrives. Faith during silence also trains patience. Patience is not waiting. It is emotional steadiness across time. Steadiness preserves energy. Preserved energy is available for action when the moment arrives. Exhausted people miss opportunities because they lack energy to respond. Silence often precedes acceleration. The quiet before movement is natural. Like an inhale before an exhale, faith recognizes this rhythm. It does not interrupt it. Silence also allows gratitude to deepen. Gratitude during abundance is easy. Gratitude during silence is powerful. It declares trust. Trust tells life you are safe to receive. Silence can feel uncomfortable because it removes distraction. Discomfort invites awareness. Awareness reveals beliefs that need adjustment. Adjustments made in silence prevent complications later. Faith does not rush silence away. It honors it. Those who learn to remain calm during silence move smoothly when noise returns. Life speaks loudly after it finishes working quietly. Calm faith during silence is not waiting for something to happen. It is knowing that something is already happening, just not where the eyes can see yet arrive. Timing feels natural because it does not require you to abandon yourself to receive it. When something is aligned, it enters your life without urgency, confusion, or emotional chaos. There is a quiet sense of recognition rather than shock. You do not feel rushed to decide, prove, or perform. You feel ready, even if the opportunity is new. Stress is often mistaken for excitement. Many people believe intensity means importance, so they accept situations that feel pressured, unstable, or overwhelming, thinking this is how growth works. In reality, stress is a signal of misalignment. It indicates that the inner state and the outer demand are not in harmony. When timing is right, effort feels proportional. You may still need to act, but action does not drain you. It energizes you. There's no internal argument about whether you should proceed. Doubt may appear briefly, but it does not dominate. Right timing aligns with identity. The opportunity matches who you have become, not who you are trying to be. This is why aligned situations feel natural. They confirm your self-concept rather than challenge it. When timing is wrong, you feel like you must stretch unnaturally. You overthink, over-explain, or overcompensate. These behaviors are attempts to bridge an internal gap. That gap signals unreadiness. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that divine order brings opportunities that fit you. Fit matters more than size or appearance. Something impressive but ill-fitting creates pressure. Something fitting creates growth. Right timing also respects your emotional bandwidth. It does not arrive when you are depleted, distracted, or unstable. It waits until you can engage fully without losing balance. Balance is required for sustainability. Stressful beginnings often predict stressful continuation. If something begins with anxiety, it usually demands anxiety to maintain. Natural beginnings invite natural continuation. Ease does not mean lack of challenge. It means challenges appear manageable. You feel supported while facing them. Support is a sign of alignment. Right timing also brings clarity. You understand what is expected of you. Confusion is minimal. When confusion dominates, timing is often premature. Many people ignore discomfort because they fear missing out. They override intuition and commit anyway. Later, they realize the discomfort was guidance, not fear. Natural timing includes a sense of inevitability. It feels like this was going to happen anyway. You may even wonder why you worried before. Stress-driven opportunities feel fragile. You fear losing them. Fear of loss indicates insecurity. Insecurity disrupts flow. When timing is right, you trust continuity. You are not constantly checking whether it will last. That trust allows deeper engagement. Right timing also synchronizes with your values. You do not need to compromise integrity to participate. If something demands compromise, timing is off. Florence emphasized that divine timing protects dignity. What is meant for you does not humiliate you or require you to beg. It meets you with respect. Stress often comes from trying to adapt to someone else's timing. External pressure can override internal readiness. This mismatch creates strain. Natural timing arises when internal readiness meets external opportunity. Neither is forced. They converge. When timing is right, learning feels accessible. You absorb information easily. When timing is wrong, learning feels heavy and frustrating. Stress impairs cognition. Ease improves it. Improved cognition leads to better decisions. Better decisions improve outcomes. Right timing also allows rest. You do not feel like you must sacrifice health, relationships, or peace to succeed. Sacrifice may seem noble, but chronic sacrifice leads to burnout. Burnout delays progress. Recovery takes time. Divine timing avoids unnecessary recovery phases by pacing growth. Natural timing feels collaborative. People involved are cooperative. Communication flows. Misunderstandings resolve quickly. When timing is wrong, conflict multiplies. Conflict drains energy. Energy is required for manifestation. Drained energy slows everything. Right timing includes emotional safety. You feel safe being yourself. You do not feel you must hide, perform, or defend constantly. Emotional safety supports creativity. Creativity finds solutions. Solutions accelerate results. When timing is wrong, you feel like you are constantly catching up. When timing is right, you feel like you are moving with something rather than chasing it. Chasing creates stress. Moving with creates rhythm. Rhythm sustains momentum. Right timing respects your nervous system. It does not overwhelm it. Overwhelm causes shutdown or impulsive behavior. Aligned opportunities expand capacity gradually. Gradual expansion integrates more fully. Stressful timing demands sudden expansion. Sudden expansion often collapses. Natural timing also aligns with intuition. Your inner signals are clear. You know when to act and when to pause. This clarity reduces mistakes. Mistakes are not failures, but correcting them takes time. Right timing minimizes unnecessary corrections. Florence taught that ease is a spiritual indicator. When ease is present, divine order is active. When strain dominates, something is being forced. Forcing does not make something right. It only makes it happen prematurely. Premature outcomes lack stability. Right timing also allows enjoyment. Enjoyment is not optional, it is a signal of alignment. When enjoyment disappears entirely, something is off. Enjoyment fuels persistence. Persistence completes cycles. Completion creates results. Stress creates aversion. Aversion leads to procrastination or escape. Both delay progress. Natural timing feels grounded. You are present rather than anxious about the future. Presence improves performance. Performance improves confidence. Confidence stabilizes identity. Identity stability supports wealth, relationships, and fulfillment. Right timing often arrives quietly. There is no dramatic announcement. It simply fits. Because it fits, it stays. Because it stays, it grows. Because it grows, it compounds. Because it compounds, it transforms life sustainably. Right timing does not demand urgency to be valid. It feels natural because it matches who you are now. When the inner state is ready, the outer world responds instantly because reality mirrors identity, not effort. External circumstances are not waiting on action alone. They are waiting on internal coherence. Coherence means your beliefs, emotions, expectations, and self-concept are aligned. When this alignment locks in, movement does not need time to build. It happens suddenly. People often think manifestation is slow because results take time to appear. In truth, preparation takes time. Response does not. The delay is not in the universe. It is in the inner state stabilizing. Once stabilization is complete, response feels immediate, sometimes shocking. Inner readiness is emotional, not intellectual. You can understand concepts for years without being ready to receive their results. Readiness shows up as calm familiarity with what you desire, when the idea of having it no longer excites or scares you excessively. Readiness is near. Excessive excitement signals novelty. Excessive fear signals unworthiness. Both indicate that identity has not integrated the outcome yet. Integration removes emotional spikes. Emotional neutrality allows reception. When the inner state shifts, perception shifts with it. Opportunities that were always present suddenly become visible. People call this luck, but it is recognition. You did not create something new. You became able to see what already existed. The outer world responds to expectation, not hope. Hope looks forward. Expectation rests. Resting expectation feels settled. Settled states invite confirmation. When you internally expect support, support shows up quickly because your behavior aligns with that expectation. You speak differently. You choose differently. You carry yourself differently. Others respond to these cues immediately. Identity communicates silently. The way you enter a room, hold a conversation, or make a request reflects inner readiness. People sense this without analysis. Doors open or close based on it. When the inner state is conflicted, mixed signals are sent. Mixed signals confuse response. When the inner state is unified, response is clean. Many people try to force outer change before inner readiness. This creates strain. Strain signals resistance. Resistance slows response. Inner readiness removes strain. Without strain, events align quickly because nothing is pushing against them. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life responds to consciousness, not circumstances. Consciousness is the lens through which circumstances are interpreted and shaped. Change the lens, and the picture reorganizes. This is why sudden breakthroughs often follow long periods of nothing. During the quiet phase, inner readiness was forming. Once complete, the outer world matched it without delay. Readiness includes permission. Many people subconsciously deny themselves permission to receive. They feel they must struggle longer, prove more, or suffer before receiving. These beliefs delay response. When permission is granted internally, reality responds immediately. Permission removes internal barriers. Without barriers, flow resumes. Inner readiness also includes trust. Trust does not mean believing everything will work out perfectly. It means believing you can handle what arrives. This confidence allows engagement without panic. Panic disrupts timing. Calm accelerates it. When the inner state is ready, decisions become clear. Clear decisions produce fast results. Indecision delays movement. Readiness also changes how you interpret feedback. Rejection no longer feels personal. Redirection is seen as guidance. This emotional maturity prevents derailment. Outer results often require participation. When inner readiness is present, participation feels natural. You say yes easily, you act promptly, you follow intuition without hesitation. Hesitation is a sign of internal conflict. Conflict delays action. Action delayed delays outcome. When readiness is present, action feels obvious. Obvious actions create momentum. Momentum compounds quickly. The outer world does not test readiness, it responds to it. Tests are interpretations created by resistance. Response is automatic when alignment exists. Inner readiness also affects patience. You no longer feel anxious about timing. This absence of anxiety removes pressure. Pressure blocks flow. Flow restores speed. Speed in manifestation is not frantic, it is smooth. Smooth processes feel fast. Because there is little friction. Friction is emotional resistance. When friction drops, events line up effortlessly. Readiness also stabilizes self-worth. You no longer feel like you are asking life for permission. You feel like you are cooperating with it. Cooperation is faster than negotiation. Negotiation implies doubt. Cooperation implies agreement. When agreement exists, internally, external confirmation arrives quickly. The outer world is not independent of you. It reflects the dominant assumptions you carry. When assumptions shift, reflection, update. This update can appear overnight. A conversation changes, an offer appears, a decision resolves itself. These are not coincidences. They are synchronization. Synchronization occurs where internal and external rhythms match. Mismatched rhythms create delay. Matched rhythms create immediacy. Inner readiness also includes emotional capacity. You can receive without guilt. You can enjoy without fear. You can expand without collapse. Collapse happens when expansion exceeds capacity. Divine timing waits until capacity grows. Once capacity matches expansion, response is instant. Capacity grows through experience, reflection, and integration. These processes are invisible but powerful. When capacity is sufficient, life does not drip results slowly, it delivers them fully. Many people are surprised by sudden success because they were focused on visible progress. Invisible progress prepared the ground. Inner readiness also dissolves the need for validation. When you no longer need approval, you move freely. Free movement accelerates outcome. Needing approval slows response because it ties action to others' reactions. Independence restores speed. Florence emphasized that faith combined with readiness produces immediacy. Faith without readiness waits. Readiness without faith hesitates. Together, they activate response. Inner readiness also includes alignment with values. When desires match values, resistance dissolves. When they conflict, delay appears. Alignment with values creates integrity. Integrity stabilizes identity. Stable identity invites trust from life. Trust accelerates response. The outer world is efficient. It does not delay out of cruelty. It waits for coherence. Once coherence is achieved, delay disappears. This is why trying harder often fails, while letting go often works. Letting go allows readiness to complete. Completion triggers response. Inner readiness is not dramatic. It feels ordinary. That ordinariness is the signal. When something feels normal internally, it becomes normal externally. Normal does not wait. It expresses the moment inner resistance ends, outer movement begins. Not gradually. Immediately, because the world was never slow. It was waiting for you to be ready to see it move. Alignment creates immediacy because it removes contradiction. When every part of you is moving in the same direction, thoughts, emotions, expectations, and actions, there's no internal friction slowing response. Life does not need to negotiate with a divided state. It responds quickly to coherence. Most delay is not caused by external obstacles but by internal conflict. One part of you desires change, while another part doubts, fears, or resists it. This split sends mixed signals. Mixed signals require time to resolve. Alignment resolves them instantly. Immediacy is not magic. It is efficiency. When alignment exists, energy flows cleanly. Clean flow produces fast results. Resistance creates turbulence. Turbulence slows movement. Alignment means you are no longer arguing with your desire. You are no longer questioning whether it is possible, deserved, or safe. When those questions fade, response accelerates because the subconscious no longer needs to protect you from uncertainty. Life responds fastest to certainty. Certainty does not mean arrogance or insistence. It means emotional agreement. Emotional agreement feels calm and settled. Settled states invite confirmation. When alignment is present, you stop sending almost signals. Almost believing, almost trusting, almost committing. Almost creates delay. Full alignment creates motion. Immediacy often surprises people because it follows long periods of stagnation. This makes it appear sudden, but it is not sudden. It is the release of stored momentum. Momentum builds quietly when alignment is forming. Alignment also simplifies decision-making. When you are aligned, choices feel obvious. Obvious choices lead to immediate action. Immediate action produces quick results. When alignment is absent, decisions feel heavy. You second-guess. You delay. You seek reassurance. Each pause adds time. Alignment removes hesitation. Immediacy is also linked to self-trust. When you trust yourself, you act without internal debate. Internal debate wastes time. Trust saves it. Alignment aligns identity with outcome. When identity matches what you want to experience, reality reflects it without delay. Reality mirrors identity, not desire. Desire without identity change waits. Identity change without desire drifts. Alignment unites them. Alignment also affects how others respond to you. People sense coherence. They feel clarity in your presence. Clear presence invites quick cooperation. When alignment is missing, communication becomes unclear. Others hesitate. Opportunities stall. Alignment removes ambiguity. Immediacy appears when you stop checking for results. Constant checking implies doubt. Doubt slows response. When checking stops, trust stabilizes. Alignment does not obsess over timing. Obsession creates pressure. Pressure interferes. Non-obsession frees movement. Immediacy also requires emotional neutrality toward outcome. When you are emotionally attached, fear of loss appears. Fear introduces resistance. Resistance delays. When you are emotionally stable, you can receive without panic. Panic interrupts flow. Calm sustains it. Alignment includes permission. Permission means you internally allow the outcome to exist now. Without permission, the subconscious blocks arrival. Many people unknowingly delay outcomes by believing they must wait longer, struggle more, or become someone else first. These beliefs block immediacy. When permission is granted, alignment completes. Completion triggers response. Alignment also includes congruence between words and feelings. Saying one thing while feeling another creates contradiction. Contradiction delays. When words and feelings match, communication to life is clear. Clear communication receives clear response. Immediacy often shows up as synchronicity. A conversation happens. A message arrives. A door opens. These are not random. They are signs that alignment has locked in. Alignment also reduces emotional noise. Less noise improves signal strength. Strong signals travel faster. When emotional noise is high, Life must wait for clarity. When noise drops, response accelerates. Alignment also involves releasing attachment to method. Fixation on how something must happen limits pathways. Limited pathways slow arrival. Alignment allows flexibility. Flexibility multiplies routes. More routes increase speed. Immediacy does not mean everything happens at once. It means the next step appears without delay. Each step then leads smoothly to the next. Alignment restores rhythm. Rhythm creates momentum. Momentum carries you forward quickly. Immediacy feels effortless. Effortlessness is a sign that resistance has dissolved. Alignment also stabilizes nervous system response. A calm nervous system processes information quickly and accurately. Accurate processing leads to effective action. When the nervous system is dysregulated, reaction replaces response. Reaction creates errors. Errors require correction. Correction takes time. Alignment prevents unnecessary correction. Immediacy also depends on honesty. When you are honest with yourself about what you want and what you are ready for, alignment strengthens. Self-deception delays. Alignment requires clarity. Clarity emerges when you stop pretending. Pretending creates friction. Friction slows response. Alignment also includes acceptance of responsibility. When you own your role and outcomes, you regain power. Power accelerates movement, blame slows. Ownership speeds. Immediacy often comes after you release old identities. Old identities hold old timelines. Releasing them frees you from outdated pacing. When you stop identifying as someone who waits, life stops making you wait. Alignment also aligns expectations with reality. Unrealistic expectations create disappointment. Disappointment drains energy. Alignment restores realistic optimism. Optimism without pressure attracts cooperation. Immediacy feels like things falling into place rather than being pushed into place. When alignment is present, you no longer feel separate from what you want. Separation creates distance. Unity removes it. Alignment collapses the gap between inner and outer. The outer world responds instantly because there is nothing left to resolve internally. When there is no resistance, no doubt, no contradiction, and no fear, response is natural. Life moves at the speed of agreement. Alignment is agreement between desire and identity. When agreement is complete, immediacy is inevitable, not because life is rewarding you, but because nothing is blocking it anymore. When you stop resisting, doubting, and dividing yourself, life no longer has anything to wait for. Alignment becomes action, and what you've been seeking meets you exactly where you stand. Thank you.